Hey guys, Dave here. Welcome to the Centurions Review, the punk rock band of Wargame Review Institution's Plague Island Games sent me the prototype for 2 Minutes to Midnight so I can make some content about it. About fighting the Cold War, USA versus Soviet Union from 1946 to 1991, a strategic historical game. The final product may be different than this. Oftentimes they change things from the prototype to the new version, but this should be enough to give you a general idea of what the game looks like. It says 2 Minutes to Midnight is a detailed simulation of the Cold War covering the military, economics, politics, and trade of the period, all in a playable package that hides the complexity and lets you focus on strategic choices. It has asymmetrical sides, historical focus, solo mode, and the day's game, so this can be played with 1 or 2 players. Let's take a look inside. Box art looks good. Here's the rule book. Let's look at some of the components first. It's got some wood tokens, wood cubes. I think these are for keeping track of stuff on the player aid sheet. And then you got some counters here. These don't look like they're made out of cardboard. These are much better material. I don't know if this is MDF board that they cut out with a laser cutter or what. But yeah, it's really good material for counters. Alright, here's the solo cards. Let's just take a quick look through them. Build weapons, influence, investment, recruit spies. Here's some more counters. And some red cubes, dice, some blue cubes, and in here we have some cards. This one's Indo-Pakistan, Iran-Iraq War, Spy Agencies, Bangladesh Liberation War, USA Money, Sweden-Finland Neutrality, and Soviet Diplomacy. Here we have a bunch more cards. I'm not going to go through them all. This looks like a rules overview, along with this too. It's made out of good material. Here's the Soviet player aid card. Actually, the map has player aid cards on it. This is just so if the Soviet player is sitting on the opposite side of the table, you can have a player aid card that's facing them. I started reading the rule book. I haven't read the whole thing yet. Alright, here's some more player aid sheets. And here's your introductory scenario. And there's scenario number 1. Shows how to set up the map and stuff. Yeah, good material. This seems like pretty much rip-proof material. And here's scenario 2. I think if I recall correctly, the rules said the game, depending on which scenario you take, is as low as 2 hours to play. And I think if you play the campaign game, it'll take about 7 hours, it said. Alright, let's look at the maps here. These are mounted. Here's the main map. It looks a little bit like a Twilight Struggle map, and as you see up here, it's got the Soviet player aid card, which has oil production, oil prices, 5-year plan, tech theft placement, victory progress, Soviet leadership, freedom and reforms, and Western trade. And on the United States, you keep track of the national debt. I'm surprised they could fit that on the board. There's so much debt in this country. But anyhow, here it's talking about the president where you roll 2 dice and your victory and progress. As far as the map itself, it looks pretty good. Yeah, it definitely looks kind of like a Twilight Struggle map. This here is meant to be set up next to the map, somewhere where both players can see it. Keeps track of the turns And you got strategic outlook down here, like the nuclear balance, conventional balance, naval balance, and intelligence segment. And here's your technology research part. And there's your tech theft section, computer section, bunkers, and strategic weapons. Let's glance through the rule book now. Starts out with a game overview and then it's going over the components and going over the map. And now it's going over the technology research chart and strategic outlook chart. And now it's going over the card deck. And building the next turn's deck. I've only read a little bit of the book, but it sounds like build a deck each turn, and then the cards get drawn and resolved. All right, going over unrest here, money, U.S. national debt. All right, here's the gameplay section. And the cubes are used for influence in this, kind of like those games. That one about Cuba and that Cold War one. I think one was called Iron Curtain. The other one was, I can't remember the name of it, something about Cuba. Alright, building military here. And here's a section about rules about spies. And rules about coups and civil wars. And here it's going over the Soviet 5-year plan. Technology development and tech theft. Deployment of nuclear weapons. From what I saw in the rulebook, it sounds like if your nation has nuclear weapons, that means that no one's going to conventionally attack you. Alright, going over intelligence, geographical objectives. And here's an example of play. So you got 26 pages of rules, and then an example of play. And here it's going over the scenarios. Thanks for watching. Hopefully I get a chance to try this over the weekend and see how I like it. Have a good evening.